Get outside in Pepin County. Pack up the family and visit the childhood home of Laura Ingalls Wilder. Sail on Lake Pepin. Bike the Chippewa River State Trail. Hike up Maiden Rock and throw a line in a trout stream. Sign up to win a vacation at visitpepincounty.com. We connect with Johanna Rupprecht of the River Arts Alliance. We talk about this Winona-based entity that supports and celebrates regional arts and culture by organizing educational programs, community events, and public art projects. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
My name is Johanna Rupprecht. I grew up here in Winona County on my family's farm near Lewiston, which is between Winona and Rochester. And I now live in Winona. I've always been, I don't really consider myself an artist, but I've always been a strong art supporter. You know, I grew up going to the Shakespeare Festival here in Winona. I've always loved going to art tours and art fairs and that sort of thing. Music, I come from a pretty musical family. So my experience before I came to this job last fall was in nonprofits and community organizing. And I started feeling like, you know, I'd been in my previous role for 9 years. I was feeling like it's time to see what else is out there. And I just had this thought, you know, I'd like to do something arts related. And I didn't really know where that would lead. Then after I was job hunting for a little while, this position at River Arts Alliance came up, and it felt like a really great opportunity to use the nonprofit skills that I have to help support artists do what they do. So I'm really happy to be in that position.
Kind of digging into it. We're based out of La Crosse, but I love Winona. I went to college there, coming down for Midwest Music every year and also the other festivals. Just kind of going through your website, just knowing it's a creative region there. It looks like you have projects, looks like you have opportunities for membership. What exactly is the River Arts Alliance?
Sure. So we're a nonprofit organization. We are based in Winona, but try to serve the region much more broadly than that as well. Our mission is to support and celebrate regional arts and culture by organizing educational programs, community events, and public art projects, while promoting opportunities for artists and facilitating collaborations between organizations in the Winona region. And so we are a membership organization as well. We have members who are artists of all disciplines, so visual artists, musicians, poets, writers, dance, theater, filmmaking, as well as art supporters. You don't have to be an artist yourself to be a member, and then arts organizations as well. So we really see part of that role as connecting and facilitating collaboration among various arts organizations in Winona. And there are a variety of benefits that people get for being members. You're able to publicize your news and events on our website and our social media, our Facebook page, and our weekly newsletter that we send out. Members can also participate in our annual member exhibit, as well as various other, just opportunities for networking and collaboration and connection with fellow artists and art supporters in the community.
Being a resource and all. So what was like the impetus for it start? Like what was the light that kind of kicked it off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so RIA actually started, it's been a nonprofit organization since 2014, but it started quite a while before that as just a community group or organization. Back in, I believe around 2007, 2008, there was a group of community members that put together the Blue Heron Statue Project in Winona. So there were about 15 large sculptures of a blue heron that were sculpted by a local artist, and then they were all painted by various local artists, and those were displayed around Winona for a few months, and then they were auctioned off to raise money for the Winona Fine Arts Commission. And that funding, I think it was over $40,000 that was raised at that time, was used for the next several years to provide grants for artists in the community. And the group of people, artists and art supporters that put that project together realized, there's a lot of potential. There's a burgeoning art scene in Winona, and there is a need for work to be done to support that and continue to bring people together. So that's kind of how RIA was born all the way back then. And then it became an official nonprofit, like I mentioned, in 2014.
Coming to this organization relatively recently, and also the whole idea of coming out of COVID and just kind of like, I guess, just new horizon in some ways. What's next? Like, what are you excited for coming down the road?
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenging couple of years, like for all organizations. I think with COVID, we've definitely learned some things through that time, being forced to do just only virtual programming for a certain period of time. That helped us learn some things that we can continue to use going forward. Like, for example, with our member exhibit that we do every year, we're now doing that as both an in-person exhibit for visual arts and things that can be displayed visually, like poetry, for instance. But we also, this year, for the second year, we're going to do an online exhibit, which we did last year, because we weren't sure if we'd be able to have something in person, but we realized that lets our other members, like musicians, writers, other people, submit their work, whether it's text or video or things that you couldn't display physically. That lets us include everybody. So we've definitely learned things like that. I think, some online programming, we've done online workshops as well. I think that kind of thing is, we realize we're going to be able to continue to do that as another way of reaching people. But we're also for sure looking forward to getting back to more of the in-person events that we used to do. We do previously, before COVID, I believe it was every couple of months, we did what's called an art schmooze, just basically a more informal gathering, where artists and art supporters can come together and talk and connect. And there'd usually be a program of some sort. We're really looking forward to getting back to those more regularly in person. We had the first one again this January. So I'm fairly new in this position since September. We have some newer people on our board of directors as well. So we're in the middle of a strategic planning process right now too, and looking at what our priorities are going to be over the next few years here.
You kind of referenced it throughout here, but you talked about members. I'm sure you'd probably take donations.
Mm-hmm.
How can people get involved, and do they have to live in Winona? Could someone who just appreciates art in that area contribute?
No, we definitely have members outside of Winona. We have some members in Wisconsin, some in Houston, Fillmore County, further out in southeastern Minnesota, for sure. So anybody would be welcome to be a member. People can visit our website, riverartsalliance.org. There's information about membership there. Also, for sure, we're happy to have people donate. There's information about how you can do that on the website too. And then I just encourage people to, if you're in the Winona area, come and check out our member exhibit. That's going to be at the Blue Heron Coffee House this summer. People can also feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or are interested. My contact info is on the website, but my email is admin, ADMIN, at riverartsalliance.org too.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.